Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, you fine people. Hope you're all doing well. Bit of news today. A little bit of news. So, first piece is a little rumour about the extent of the length of time Jayden Bogle's going to be out. And also, a bit of news on Patrick Bamford this morning, breaking. It's been reported that Getafe are going to get the signature of Patrick Bamford, 9th in La Liga. So fair play to him. So I think we'll start there. So yeah, it's come out this morning on X. Matteo Moretto, who don't get much wrong, to be fair, he's quite a decent person to sort of take his word on. A few reports obviously in Spain as let's come out over there that they're looking at acquiring the signature Patrick Bamford, and it could happen in the next couple of days. When I look where Getafe were in the league, I was surprised as well to see him, as at 9th. They're not a bad side. Patrick Bamford is going to go there as a starter, I'm not too sure, but it's one of them punts, a little bit like us with DCL, one of those punts where you go for 3 years, wage man's might be a little high. I would assume he'll come down a hell of a lot from Leeds United. Wages been paid off for a year at Leeds, so he's got a bit of money in the bank as good old Patrick. But yeah, maybe for Getafe sort of wages, he maybe wanting a decent price. But when you think, he's a free transfer, he's got Premier League quality, Premier League pedigree, Premier League games under his belt, and he's done okay at that level in previous seasons. We all know with Patrick Bamford, he's not the Patrick Bamford of old. If you have Patrick Bamford playing for you, Aston Villa level, peak Patrick Bamford, let's be fair, he's still be at Leeds United now. Has he got something to offer? Very much the same as DCL. If you can keep him fit, I think Getafe will have a decent player there. I would assume he's going to be a squad option, someone who can come on, hold the ball up, make runs in behind, get the odd goal here and there once his confidence is up. I think a fresh start for him is what he's needed for a few years now. I think out of England as well, out of the limelight of English football, might do him the world of good. I think there's a few players, obviously, we've spoke about in past, Bamford and Meslier, who I think have just needed a clean break for a while. Been without a club, which has surprised me. I'm surprised they weren't able to get a move in the summer. I know he still had a contract until that sort of got sorted, but it still feels like a bit of a while ago since his contract at Leeds got sorted. So I'm surprised it's taken this long. But then again, money in bank, he's got time to weigh up his options and make sure the move's right for him. And I think a move to Spain, it's appealing. I think the fact that he is only 32, which I say only, he's still got a couple of years left really, hasn't he, of playing at an okay level for me. There were talk he'd be going to America, and I think that appeals to him. His cousin, I think, is a presenter over in America, touching on MLS. So maybe that's a move for him. He said he'd like to go there. But I mean, if this is a bit of a gap filler, if it's just till end of season, then not a bad place to go play football for the next 12 months, is it, Getafe? So yeah, I hope he does really well, and I think as Leeds fans will all keep a close eye on his games out there, and hopefully he does well, because I do think he's still got a bit more to give. It's just his body, and his body's been ruined for the last few years now. But yeah, all the best to Mr. Patrick Bamford. Hope you do well over there, pal. Say that like he watches this. What a tool. Anyways, moving on. Jayden Bogle limped off away at Wolves. Saw it happen right in front of me. Looks like he got his foot stood on. Apparently after the game, Farker said there was some swelling. I'm not surprised, getting stood straight on top of foot. By the rumours state that he's going to be out till after the international break. Now that is not a shock. Yeah, he hobbled off the pitch. He didn't get stretched off, but he hobbled off the pitch. But he looked in some serious discomfort, did Jayden Bogle. I don't think touch wood, anything's broken, a lot of bruising. He's going to be out for the Bournemouth and Tottenham game, definitely. We don't know the length of time after the international break. We're hoping he's back just after. But if we can get away with Jayden Bogle just missing the 2 games, which it's rumoured it will just be the 2 games, then great. If it ends up being a couple of games after that, it's not good, because for me, Jayden Bogle's probably his most important player, bar Ampadu. I think he's that good. I think he's that good, is Bogle. I think he's his best player as well at times. I think currently this season he's right up there. I think last season he was right up there. He's arguably our best player. And I think Jayden Bogle, a fit Jayden Bogle with plenty of games this year, with Leeds having a decent finish in the table, I think Jayden Bogle will be in contention for England. Genuinely do. I think he's an England player in waiting is Jayden Bogle. Hopefully that's for Leeds United. It may sound wild to some, but I think he's that good. But yeah, if the rumours are true and he is out for the 2 games, it's 2 massively difficult games for James Justin to come in. His new side, he's only played a few minutes really in a few games. But what do we get from James Justin? I think you get a fit James Justin. I think you get a similar sort of style of player to Jayden Bogle. I just don't think he's as effective. I don't think he's quite as nimble. I don't think he's quite as mobile, but I think he's still quick. He's physically strong. I think defensively his sound is Justin, and he does like to get up and down. A lot of injuries have sort of slowed down that pace and slowed down that engine he does have on him. But he's still got it. He's still only 28. Another one of those players who we took a bit of a gamble on for fitness, but this is why we took a gamble. If Bogle plays all 36 Premier League games, and you're not getting any 38 Premier League games, and you're not getting no minutes out of Justin, the fee, 7 to 10 million, sounds a little bit too much. But for times like this where Bogle's out, Bogle's that much of a good player, I don't think you can get away with having, Manchester City academy product on loan, a Chelsea youngster on loan. Yeah, that's great if it's only for odd minute, but if you are talking 2, 3, 4 Premier League games where every point and every game matters, I think this is where Justin proves he's a top signing for Leeds United, because the drop-off will be there in Bogle, but I don't think it's a drop off a cliff. I think he'll be sound with Justin. The problem you've probably got is if it is just 2 games, which is great for us, he probably just gets into his rhythm, then he'll be back out again, because there's no question that Farke does reward people who are playing well. He does reward them with more game time, but there's no way on this earth, if Justin comes in and plays well for 2 games, 2 man-at-match performances, Bogle does not come back in when fit. And I don't think that counts for a lot of people. I think there's a handful of people that counts for. I think Ampadu's same. Don't matter if Gruev played quality in the absence of Ampadu. Ampadu comes back when fit, and we've seen that. And I do believe that with Bogle as well. There's 3 or 4 in that side that no matter who plays in their position, they will always come back in when fit. We've seen now with Perry being out, Darlow's done outstanding. Perry doesn't fit the same mould as Bogle, obviously. Perry, I believe, will now have to wait his turn to win that shirt back. And when I say win that shirt back, he won't get an opportunity to win it back until Darlow, has an opportunity, gives the opportunity back to Perry. Whereas I think Bogle will come back in when he's fit. But yeah, I mean, Justin, I'm gutted about Bogle, but I've got no doubts Justin will come in there and do really well. The worry is with that right hand side, we still aren't too sure who Farke will fancy as a winger for Bournemouth. Will he stick with Aronson, who I thought played really well? For someone who doesn't massively love Aronson, I think I've waxed lyrical about him against Wolves more than anybody else. I think he played outstanding. I think in the stadium, I got a different view than a lot of people. His ratings were probably lowest to the Leeds players, but for me, I thought he was outstanding. In my top 3-4 players of that game. Does he stick with him for a home game? A game where when you're at home, you should be, the impetus on you will go win. The fact it's Bournemouth and he's got Justin playing as a new player, new into the system and all that, I think he'll stick with Aronson. There's an argument that you want a Nonto, you want a James out there because maybe Justin isn't going to give you as much as Bogle going forward. There's an argument that he may do. He has got the talent, he has got the capability to do it. He has done that in his career, up, down, assist, goals. He can do that, can Justin. But maybe with him being a new player into the system, does he go with someone a bit more defensively sound against a fantastic side in Bournemouth? So these 2 games, I think the pressure's off a little bit because of the win at Wolves. So I think Justin's coming into a good handful of games, if it is just the 2 games which is reported. The fact that The pressure's off. We're getting 3 points at Wolves. I think we can lose the next 2 and still be on 7 points in 7 games. Farke will still remain in his job. There'll still be an air of confidence at Elland Road regardless of these 2 fixtures. The fact they're both at home, you do want to get at least a point. Maybe can you win one of them? It's a tough ask, but the pressure's sort of off. The Wolves result's been a massive result, and it's totally shifted the mood, the feel at Elland Road currently. So I think he's coming into a decent couple of games here where, you know, there's no massive pressure to get the points as much as daft as that sounds. I'm sure you all sort of understand where I'm coming from. If we'd have lost Bogle in the last at Fulham and you had Justin coming in for Wolves, it'd have felt totally different. But I do think he's a very capable Premier League player. He's played many games at Premier League and he's a Premier League player. So yeah, they're the 2 stories really to sort of touch on today. Bamford looks like he's joining Getafe in Spain, and Bogle will be out till after the international break, which I'm sure will be confirmed on Daniel Farke's presser on Thursday, I believe. Hopefully it will just be the 2 games, and if he does stay after the international break, hopefully it's not a sustained period after that too. So hopefully he can be a little bit more precise in what he says. But yeah, he's out till after the international break, I am led to believe, which is no surprise, let's be honest. But yeah, take care everyone. Please tune in tonight for Bridging the Gap with me and Wayne from Only Fools and SAFC, where we talk everything Leeds and Sunderland. The banter will commence. Sunderland have had a brilliant start to the season, I'm led to believe. Leeds have been shocking and we're only a point behind them. What's that tell you? It's not as bad as maybe even I felt at times. But yeah, all good in Leeds United's garden and rosy and everything like that, bar the injury to Bogle. But we will be good. Take care. Love yous. Match on together. Like and subscribe.